These are 10 things that you must know before you go pro as a goalkeeper. But first, if you're new here, my name is Andrew Pandenberg. I am a professional goalkeeper for Carolina Core FC and MLS Next Pro. It's my mission to help young goalkeepers like you develop the mindset, skill set, and habits to dominate on the field and get to your next level. If you get any value out of this video, like, subscribe, share with a friend. The bigger we build this community, it'll be a win-win for both of us. If you don't know my story, I played 4 years of college soccer at Wake Forest University. I got drafted by Orlando City in the 2021 MLS Super Draft, and that's where I started my pro career. I ended up not signing with them, and I signed with the Colorado Springs Switchbacks for that year in USL Championship. The following 2 years, I played in Houston for Houston Dynamo 2 in MLS Next Pro, and now my 4th year as a pro, I'm here in High Point playing for Carolina Core FC. 3 full seasons of being a pro, and now halfway through my 4th season. There have been a lot of lessons that I've learned, a lot of pain that I've gone through to learn these lessons, and I want to share these with you so you can learn from them and not have to go through them personally like I did. So these are the 10 most important lessons that I've learned so far. Number 1, realize that soccer is a business. So you've probably heard that, people saying that, but like, what does that really mean? Well, first we have to ask, what is business? Business is just solving people's problems. So by you saying you want to go pro as a goalkeeper, you are saying that you are the solution to someone's problem. So at the end of any given season, there will be teams that are out of goalkeepers, out of contract, or they're looking for a goalkeeper to replace their current goalkeeper. They're not happy with one. And you're saying, by wanting to go pro, you're saying, hey, I am the solution to your problem. I am a good enough goalkeeper that I can fill the need that you guys have, because business is all about need. The team needs a goalkeeper to come in and fill that spot, and you're putting yourself in the position to say, hey, I can fill that need for you. I can solve your problem by giving you world-class goalkeeping and being that solution to the problem. So what I'm really trying to get at is it's all about opportunity. You're trying to find somewhere where you can get an opportunity. So a good example, if you're coming out of college right now and you think that you're at the MLS level, you're ready to play MLS right away, you might think that you are better than the USL Championship level and the USL League One level, the 2nd and 3rd divisions. And you might be, but here's the reality, and I did not understand this. Although you might be better than that level or ready to play at a higher level, there are teams that are in the 2nd, 3rd division that they don't have a need for a goalkeeper at the end of the season. They might have 2 goalkeepers who are both in their 30s and they're on multi-year contracts, so they're good. You might look at like, oh, well, if things didn't work out with an MLS team, I could just go sign 2nd, 3rd division or whatever it is. And while that may be true, it's your job to find somewhere where there is an opportunity. So there might be a 3rd division team, but they've already got their goalkeepers for next season and they don't need you. And they're not going to give you a contract because they're good. There is no need. But on the flip side, there could be an MLS team that had a rough season. Their keeper had a rough season. They didn't re-sign him. And now there's an opening there. So you actually might have a better chance to sign with an MLS team coming out of college than a USL League One team just because there's a need. So first point here, try to find opportunity. Find somewhere that they need you and position yourself as the solution to their problem, saying, hey, I can fill that need that you guys have of needing a world-class goalkeeper. That is me. Second lesson, going off of that, find somewhere where you can play. Now this one is tricky because I don't think there's any place, any team that you can say, hey, yeah, I'm just going to go there and play. There's always going to be competition and you never know what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, you're going to progress in your career by actually getting playing time and being on the field and starting and helping your team win. So when I got drafted by Orlando, like I said, Orlando City. And like I said, I didn't know this, but when I was in preseason with them, I was just, I'm not gonna say desperate for a contract, but I just really wanted them to sign me. And I think obviously that was the right thing to want because they drafted me and, I wanted to sign my first pro contract and wanted to be at the highest level I could, which in the United States is MLS. I went there, worked really hard. There was a lot of good feedback from them. They thought I was, they told me they thought I was better than they expected I was going to be. But at the end of the day, I didn't end up signing there. They didn't offer me a contract. But looking back, they had 3 other keepers. One who is the starter right now, and he's the captain for his international team. Another who was a homegrown, he's been there for a lot of years. And then they also brought in a goalkeeper on loan from Tottenham. So if I did sign, I probably would have been the fourth goalkeeper, and there was no MLS Next Pro at the time. They didn't have a second team. So if I look back at that year, yes, it probably would have been good for my resume to have signed MLS and have been on the team or whatever. But if I went there and I was just the fourth string keeper the whole season, probably wouldn't have done a lot for me. So I think for you, you want to get to the highest level possible, but you also want to find somewhere where you're going to play. So it's a tricky balance because I can't tell you, hey, go play for a lower division team just so you know you're going to play. You want to shoot for the highest league and level that you can, but know that if you're going to get on a team and they're just going to have you and they see you only as like a third string or something like that, and it's tough because if you can get an MLS contract and maybe you're making a little bit more money, it might be good to be making a little bit more money, but I think for us, we need to think bigger picture, long term, and know that if you're not playing, you're really not going to progress your career. So it might make sense to go down a division lower just so you can be in a situation where there is a lot better opportunity to play games, because you know in the long run that's going to be what's best for your career and give you opportunities at higher levels. So again, I can't tell you, hey, go just play lower division or a league lower. Maybe you could get to a higher division team and compete and win a starting job, but I think my example with Orlando is a pretty good example that they didn't see me as playing there. And even if I did sign, I don't really know how much that would have done for my career, when in the moment I was just like, oh my gosh, I want them to sign me so bad. So use the first two lessons I've just talked about. One, look for opportunity, look for need, and then two, look for somewhere that you can play. Lesson number 3, and this is an important one. Nobody cares what you did in the past. The nature of professional soccer is what can you do for me right now? So, like I said, when I didn't sign with Orlando, I ended up signing a contract with the Colorado Springs Switchbacks in USL Championship for that season. I played 2 games at the beginning of the year and didn't play at all the rest of the season. It was a bit of a tough year for me, but I learned a lot and grew a lot. But I genuinely believed that I was going to get opportunities that year and that they were going to play me and I was going to get playing time just because of the success that I had in college and the fact that I came from a program like Wake Forest. Wake Forest is a pretty reputable, good college soccer program. And I genuinely believed that year I was going to get opportunities in play because of what I did in the past. And I think that when they offered me the contract and brought me in, going to Wake and doing well and having a good resume helped me and got me that contract. And they probably thought of it for about 5 minutes. And then it was all about, how are you training on a daily basis? What can you do for us right now? Can you be the starting goalie and win games for us right now? I genuinely believed that whole year that I wasn't playing games. I was like, oh yeah, like they'll give me a game or two at some point just because of, like what I've done in the past. And maybe I didn't say that like explicitly, but somewhere in the back of my head, it was like, oh yeah, I did a lot in the past, so I'll definitely get opportunities just because of that. And that is totally not the truth. You have to show up every single day and earn it and build your resume and do well right now where you're at, but know that once you step into a new team and into the pro landscape, it is all about what you can do right now. Lesson number 4, you are the CEO of your soccer career. So nobody is going to care about your soccer career as much as you. I think it's important to have an agent or something like that, or someone who is speaking on your behalf to teams and getting your name out there. But at the end of the day, nobody's going to care about your career as much as you. I've seen way too many players talk about, oh, their agent isn't getting them this, or I need him to do more for me. And at the end of the day, you need to realize, I'll give you a little visual. Your soccer career is like you driving a boat and your agent is in the boat with you and he's in your ear talking with the other boats or whatever it is, but you're the one driving the boat. You're the one with your hands on the steering wheel. Too many players are putting the agent as the driver of the boat and sitting in the back and complaining about where he's going, or the fact that he's not going fast enough, or he's taking the boat in the wrong direction. It's your career, bro. It's your boat. You should be the one driving it, and your agent is the one who's helping you. Like I said, you're the CEO of your career. You're the one who hires and fires the agent and determines if what he's doing is good enough. So take ownership and take accountability for your career. And also know, as the CEO of your soccer career, it's your job to promote yourself. I think that when I was in college, I've never been a huge fan of social media, ironically, but especially kind of like Instagram and all that stuff. But if you're doing well, use whatever clips of you in training or accolades that you've got as a way to promote yourself. You want to show teams that you've done well and that you're helping your team win and you're having success, because that's going to be something that helps you get an opportunity in the future. I think when I was playing in college, I think humility is a good thing. You want to be humble. You don't want to just be out bragging about everything, and stay grounded. But at the same time, being too humble is going to not get you opportunities, because teams aren't going to know who you are. Let's just talk about the business world. If I have the best product in the world and I know it can help solve problems for people, but I don't put out ads, I don't put any commercials, billboards, no one's going to know about it. It's like just sitting in a closet, just sitting in a box. I could have the best product in the world, but if no one knows about it, then no one's going to buy it. So you have to promote yourself. You have to put your name out there and know that you are the one in charge of it, nobody else, especially not your agent. Again, have an agent, have someone who works for you and put your name out there. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. If you don't have a team, if you don't have a contract, that's all on you. And you got to take that responsibility, so you take the right actions to get yourself the opportunities that you need. Number 5, going off of this one, be careful how much weight you put into making a highlight tape. When I came out of college, I spent a lot of time. I've made 2 highlight tapes, one for my junior year and one for my senior year, the years that I played the most in college. I think it's good to have a highlight tape out there and putting it together, and again, promoting yourself, very good thing. But I thought that having a sweet highlight tape with awesome clips and great music and all that was going to get me a contract or at least an opportunity. But I learned as I went pro, especially from some professional coaches telling me that when they're watching your highlight tape, that's not what they're taking into full consideration. There's so many softwares out there nowadays like Instat and Y-Scout that's what they're actually looking at from you. Because anyone can just put together a video of themselves and all the best saves that they've made. But truth be told, most pro coaches want to see the mistakes that you've made or the goals that you've let in. They want to see the whole picture. A highlight tape just is like a little kind of snapshot of what you've done and who you are. And going back to the last point, it's good to make one and to put your name out there, but know that you're not going to get a contract just because of your highlight tape. So make one to promote yourself and get your name out there and get some buzz and excitement about you, but know that that's not going to be the thing that gets you a contract or fully gets you an opportunity. There's more to it. So make one, but don't put too much weight or too much time into it, and know that it's bigger than just that. I thought like my highlight tape was going to be the reason I got a contract. And like I said, that's just not the complete truth. Number 6, know how long a professional season is. So right now you might be playing college soccer, high school soccer, academy soccer, whatever it is. And those seasons can be pretty small and split up amongst the year. Especially you look at a college season, the actual season goes from end of August until most teams are done by November. If you have a good season, maybe you're going until mid-November, maybe the beginning of December, if that's it. But we're talking like 3 months, 3.5 months max. And I know you might be playing USL2 in the summer and you have your spring college season, but it feels broken up. And there are some times in between there, a week or two in between those seasons, where you get to relax, you get to go on vacation or whatever it is. But you need to realize that a pro season, especially at least here in the US, you start games in March and you're not done until October, November, something like that. So you're talking March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. You're talking about 8 full months of games, not let alone preseason in February and almost all of January, if not half of January. So you're talking about 10 months of playing and pretty much getting 1 off day a week, maybe 2. That's 10 months of nonstop games every weekend, training every week. And that's not to say you shouldn't play pro or anything like that, but just know it's a long season, and the importance of really taking care of your body and just being durable. There hasn't been a pro season that I've gone through and I haven't spent time injured or been out, and I pride myself in taking care of my body and not getting injured. I barely had any injuries in college. I only had to miss 1 game in college because of an injury. As a pro, it's just such a long season that it's almost inevitable that you're going to have some kind of knock or hiccup here or there, and I don't wish that upon you, but to think that you're going to be 100% January through October is almost naive. So before you go into that pro season, your first pro season, know it's going to be a long season. Know that there might be some knocks and hiccups along the way. Make sure that you make taking care of your body a huge priority, just super paramount, and just move forward knowing these things. Because if you think it's going to be like a college season and like, oh yeah, I'll just get through, no injuries, like I said, it's pretty naive thinking. So use that mindset as a way to know, hey, I got to take care of my body. I got to prioritize my nutrition, hydration, sleep, strength training, all those things. Use that as a way to make sure that you are healthy for as much as possible in the season. Number 7, the importance of connections and relationships in the professional game. Now, I didn't really know how I was going to get opportunities before being a pro. I didn't really understand how it all worked. I knew about agents and agents getting your name out there. And again, like I talked about, it's good for you to have an agent. But at the end of the day, every single opportunity that I've gotten as a pro has been through former coaches that I've had, coaches that I've known personally, former teammates that I played with. And at the end of the day, you don't make relationships or connections just because you want to have connections and be able to get contracts and future opportunities. You make those relationships because you care about people, you want to connect with people, and you treat people well and treat people with respect. But know that it's important to build relationships and connections because as well, you get future opportunities. So what does that mean? Guys that you've played with growing up, keep in contact with them as much as possible. See how things are going. Coaches that you've had, keep in contact with them. And know that you never know where a team that you have played with someone, a player or a coach, is going to have that opportunity or have that need for you in the future. And again, I want to emphasize that you don't keep relationships and keep in contact with people just because you want to have opportunities in the future. You do that, number one, first and foremost, because you care about people and you treat people with respect and want to see the best in other people. But also know that it's not just random how people get opportunities. Coaches want to have guys on their team that they know and trust. And I have seen that firsthand as a pro. The first team I played for, the coaching staff was brand new to the team, and they brought a bunch of players with them. Most of our team was guys that they had coached for a different team in years past. And I was just shocked by how these people just kind of move to different teams together. But it's all about trust. If you're a head coach, you're going to want to have people on your team that you can rely and trust on and know who they are, and not just a random group of dudes who you don't know really anything about them. So keep in contact with people, treat people well, build relationships, build connections, build a network, and know that this is going to be a good way for you to build your career and have opportunities in the future. Number 8, be willing to invest in yourself. So your greatest asset as a goalkeeper, as a professional athlete, is your body. This is how you play the game. This is how you execute for your team. This is how you make saves. This is how you win games for your team. And if this isn't working, like we were talking about, the durability piece of the season, then you can't play. You're going to be hurt. And that's going to hurt you in the long run in your career. So I know it might be tough, especially in the beginning if you're not making as much money or things like that. But know that, again, this is your most important asset. You need to take care of it as best as possible. And know that if you're spending money on yourself, on your body, on your career, these are investments. So don't look at it like, oh, I just spent $100 on this thing that's going to help me with my sleep, and that's just $100 down the toilet. No, that was an investment in yourself that you're actually going to make more money from it in the future because now you're sleeping better, you're recovering better. So look at when you spend money on yourself and on your career as investments that you're going to get returns on it in the future. For example, with me, I've had, like I said, some injuries and knocks here and there just over the years of my career. And I've spent money on physical therapy and working with a physical therapist in order to make sure that my body is healthy and ready to play. Looking back now, those have been investments in myself that have kept me healthy, kept me on the field, kept me ready to play at a high level. And if I didn't spend that money on those things, then I might have been out longer. I might have had more injuries, more knocks here and there. So I'm grateful for my past self for using some of the money that I've made to invest in myself and to better myself and better my career. So for you, I think if you do have any knocks, looking for a physical therapist in your area is awesome. Looking for any kind of devices that can help with recovery, be that any kind of foam rollers, Normatec, all those kinds of things are really helpful. Invest in your nutrition. Be willing to spend a little bit more for maybe more organic, free range, pasture-raised type eggs, meat, limiting the packaged stuff that you eat, but just look for quality, because again, what you put in is what you're going to get out. And if you want to play for a long time, have a long career, you got to take care of this thing right now, especially if you're in your early 20s and you want to play until 40. You see goalkeepers playing in their 40s. That's not a thing that just happens overnight. You got to make sure you're doing everything you can on a daily basis to take care of this and make sure it's going to last you all that time. So do not be afraid to invest in yourself, and see when you do spend money on yourself and on your body and on your career, see those as investments. Number 9, too much time can be a bad thing. So I know you might think I'm a little crazy on this one, because right now you're in college, you're in high school, and your day is mostly spent in training and in the gym, but then you've got schoolwork as well. And I remember being in college and being so excited for the time where I didn't have to do school anymore, and I had all this free time in my day to do whatever I wanted, which, to be fair, it is nice. It's way better than doing school and all that. But know that if you just have empty times in your calendar, so let's just say you train and gym and all that from the morning until 1 o'clock. Everything is done in that morning until 1 o'clock time period. And you have, let's just say after you shower and eat, you have 2 o'clock until when you go to bed, the rest of your day completely open. You right now are looking at that and you're like, that's amazing. And that's going to be so awesome when I have it like that. And you need to be careful with that mindset, because I thought the same thing. But as it says in the Bible, idle hands are the devil's workshop. So know that if you have a big time period in your day and you have nothing scheduled, nothing that you've given yourself to do, you are going to waste time on stupid things. It's ultimately gonna make things worse for you. So if you get home at 2 o'clock and you've got nothing for the rest of the day, and at first you're like, oh, this is awesome, I'm just gonna kick back and relax, and you sit on social media for the next, let's just say you go to bed at 9 o'clock, the next 7 hours you just spend on the couch on social media. We know that most social media can be pretty destructive for your mind, like Instagram and Twitter. It's set up to mess with your head and get you in not a good mind state. If you do that for 7 hours, which is most likely what you're gonna do if you don't have anything scheduled, you're gonna feel like crap after that. And ultimately, if you do this day after day after day, trust me, it's not a good thing. And yeah, it's not a good thing. So what am I telling you to do? Give yourself things to do. Actually go into a calendar, use a Google Calendar, your Apple Calendar, whatever it is, and schedule time that you're gonna do stuff. So schedule out things that you can do, whether it's, I'm gonna read from this time to this time. I'm gonna go here from this time to this time. I'm gonna go hang out with a teammate. I'm gonna go grab a coffee. I'm gonna go to the gym on my own in the afternoon. I'm gonna go and watch a movie or whatever it is. Give yourself things to do, because if you don't have things to do, you're just gonna end up doing stupid things, wasting your time, and ultimately as the years go on, you're gonna regret not making the most of the time that you have already been given. So we do have a lot of extra time as pro soccer players, and I know it sounds really good right now, especially if you don't have a lot of free time, if you're in college or academy or whatever it is, but please trust me and know that it's not as great as it sounds if you don't give yourself things to do. So give yourself activities that will benefit you. Find things that you're interested in. Pick up a guitar, a piano, or whatever it is, and learn how to do that. Find some really good books to read. If you need any recommendations, I've got a lot of great books that will help you in your career and help better your mind. So find things that you want to do and schedule times in your calendar so you're not just wasting time on just random stupid stuff. Trust me, this will greatly benefit you if you listen to this one. And the 10th thing is, the only real competition that you have is yourself and your ability to do the job for the team. Now, I know that might sound kind of dumb and kind of cliche, but I've competed against a lot of goalkeepers as a pro. I've kind of talked about this in some other videos already, but when I was in college, I only competed against 2 or 3 or 4 goalkeepers my whole time in college. But when you become a pro, you're literally competing against the whole world of goalkeepers, because your team could bring in any new goalkeeper at any time. I don't think that's something that you need to be fearful of or anything, but just know that that can happen. But on the flip side, you need to know that at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter about the other guys because you're going to get opportunities. And when you step on that field, the other keepers that you've competed against have nothing to do with you and your ability to do the job for the team in that moment. So remind yourself on a daily basis that your number one competition is yourself and your ability to do the job for the team. Work to sharpen your skills on a daily basis as much as you can. Stay focused on yourself. Your mind is going to want to focus on the other guys on your team, but in reality, they've got nothing to do with you. So continue to work on yourself and on your game and just be ready for your opportunities. At the end of the day, that is the most important thing because you could be on a team and say you have two other goalkeepers and you're way better than them. Like it's not even close, but you are going out into games and you're not winning games for your team. You're not making the saves you need to make. You might be like, oh, well, it's still good that the other two keepers on my team suck and, I'm way better than them. But at the end of the day, if you're losing for your team, you're not doing your job for your team, it's going to be miserable on your team right now. And your team is just going to go out and find another goalkeeper from somewhere else and bring him in. Remind yourself often that your biggest competition is yourself and always be evaluating where you are and what things you need to work on and know that you are your biggest competition and continue to get better and keep your mind focused on that. Don't focus on the people around you. Focus on you and what you can do and what you need to improve on. So those are the 10 most important things I wish I knew before I went pro. Man, if I would have known these things 4 years ago, before I became a pro, it would have saved me so much time, so much pain, and that's not a woe is me, pity type thing. That's just the reality of it. And I hope you can take these things to heart right now so you don't have to go through that pain when you do pursue going pro or as you are a pro, and learn from these lessons and learn from my pain so you don't have to experience them yourself. Maybe you aren't at the point where you're going pro yet. Maybe you're a little younger and you're still working in academy or college. Keep these things still in the back of your mind and know that they might not apply to you right now, but they will. If you have these goals and have these aspirations and continue on the path that you're on, they will apply to you. So you can save this video or just kind of keep these lessons in the back of your head and know that they will apply to you at some point if you have those goals and continue to put one foot in front of the other. You will be in an environment to go pro or wanting to go pro. So use these lessons as a tool for yourself in the future and know that if you continue to work, they're going to be very applicable to you. So hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you get any value, share it. Let's just keep working, man. Keep building this community. Keep making the most of every day, and we'll talk soon.